Hi everyone, I'm Kritika. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our speaker, Ms. Ishika Nirula. Today's session will focus on the current scenario and position of young women in the field of entrepreneurship and at the workplace worldwide. As part of the discussion, speaker will touch upon various reasons for the gap in the number of women-led entrepreneurial ventures, like the lack of mentorship and education, the societal gender-based norms, access to capital, etc., along with various reasons that discourage women from achieving great heights at the corporate place. Furthermore, we will look at various opportunities for entrepreneurship in the digital economy and the ways to make workplaces more inclusive for women as a solution to the above mentioned problem. We will hear more about this from our speaker, Ms. Ishika Nirula. She is currently an undergrad student at the University of Delhi. She is the founder and CEO of Women in Business Network. So, Women in Business Network is one of a kind organization and the world's first ever community that supports female college students in the entrepreneur endeavors and professional careers and brings together over 5,000 plus students and 1,350 plus young female entrepreneurs and leaders. Apart from her venture, she also has a penchant for data analytics and is a great connoisseur of music and art. Now, I would like to call Ms. Ishika. You can take it from here.
Hi, Kritika. Thank you so much for that, and a very warm welcome and hello to everybody present here. I'm Ishika, and I'm currently a third year student at the University of Delhi. I'm majoring in economics and commerce, and I'm the founder and CEO of Women in Business Network, which Kritika rightly said is the world's first ever community that supports student women entrepreneurs in their business challenges and solutions. So today I will be talking about just generally how women, just the trends of women entrepreneurship and business and how women have been, sort of facing challenges and what are the opportunities now after the pandemic for women in the field of entrepreneurship and business. So today we'll be talking about young women and the world of business and the digital economy. So basically, three very important things and very interconnected things. All right. So firstly, also I'd like all of you to please be very active with the chat box or just speak out whenever required. So let's talk about business. Firstly, think of how many entrepreneurs, are women globally, and just think about it for 10 seconds. A percentage number, which is from 1 to 100, and please drop it into the chat box. Okay, 35%. All right. Any others? Okay, so with that, we'll basically now try to see how many women. So you were correct. Around 34% of women are currently entrepreneurs worldwide. This is a great number if we, sort of compare it to the previous years. Let's say, last 30 years, if we try to look at that sort of time, it would be, almost impossible to see this kind of number then. And I think in the past, studies from Harvard and Stanford also show that only two or three women used to be there in one particular class of 1,000 students of an MBA. So things have definitely changed. The numbers have definitely risen. However, if we look at a 50-50 of women and men, this still is something that does not show equality. And there's a lot more to do in this field. And that is why we're still not very satisfied with the number 34. All right, so moving on. How many women are currently at senior leadership positions? So these are CEOs, managers, CTOs, all C suite roles, all executives. How many women in percentages do you think are currently at senior leadership positions? Again, please feel free to use the mic. I can't really see the chat box. So it'd be great if you could just state a percentage that you think. 15%. 20%. Okay. 30. Perfect. All right. So when we actually look at the number of women at senior leadership positions in all the modern companies, it's actually 23%. So this is even lower than women who are independently starting their businesses and their entrepreneurial ventures. So basically, women who start in their professional work at any corporate or any business, they
हेलो
have only, yeah,
हेलो
is that the
साउंड क्लियर नहीं
question?
आ रहा, थोड़ा तेज बोलिए।
Am I audible now?
हाँ,
All right.
लाउडली स्पीक।
All right. So, like I was mentioning, there are only 23% of women that are at executive positions worldwide, which means that only 23% of women survive to a level that, possibly takes them to the highest of all roles. And the other percentage is all men, which again shows that the number of women at the higher levels of work and whatever profession or corporate world are very low. And there needs to be, sort of any sort of change in the future that builds this number to a higher extent. All right, and another very, very alarming figure this year is that only 3% of women made it to the top CEOs list in 2021, which means that out of 100 people, only 3 women were awarded as, the best CEOs in 2021, and all of the other 97 people were men. All right, moving on. Now, let's think of the reasons why these numbers are so low. So, would any of you want to like just give a shot at any one reason why you think the numbers are very low in the 21st century? Just any reason. It can be as specific, or if you would like to share something of your own personal observation, that would be great. Okay. So, types of responsibility, types of job. Okay. Any other reason? Low socioeconomic status of women. Right. That's absolutely correct. Anyone else? Is anyone typing in? All right, so we'll move on from here. So the possible reasons why these numbers are so low have been listed here. So let's just take on every single reason one by one. Firstly, we come to lack of education. This is, I think, obviously the most important reason of all. If women are not educated about entrepreneurship, if they're not educated about business, if they are generally not educated about life, that will not make them a useful person in the corporate world, and would therefore, will not make them a valuable asset to any company or whatever they want to do. Second, as women also have this challenge of life, work, and family, which means that they have to juggle between their life, their work, as well as as they start a family. So that again is a very big challenge, and has been a challenge since forever in even the most modern countries. So this is again one thing that does not allow women to work and sort of reach to that level wherein they have those C-suite roles. Third is gender discrimination. For example, just women's work not being valued enough. They being asked questions which pertain to family and just their potential, which are not at all fair to women and men both. In fact, so all of these reasons of gender discrimination are very, very prevalent, especially in countries like India, wherein when a woman gets promoted to a job, they think that it's something else rather than her potential. So all of this is again a barrier to women and them reaching higher levels of work. Fourth is no access to digital resources. So I think this is one of the most important or key factors now in the 21st century after the pandemic. All of us have been taking our classes online, all of us have been working on various things online and have been using smartphones and laptops for all of our jobs recently. So if people do not have access to these digital resources, even if an entrepreneur wants to start their business and they don't have access to, let's say, Instagram, or they don't have access to any of the websites or any way to sort of establish that e-commerce portal, they will not be able to flourish properly. So, again, no access to digital resources is one of the most important factors that affect women in the field of entrepreneurship and business. We come to the fifth reason, which is societal norms. So, just that entire mindset of people that women cannot handle a very large company on her own, or a woman cannot, handle a quantitative sort of job on her own. Just these societal norms have to be changed. And even, for example, people think women excel at fashion, or women will excel at other jobs related to, let's say, cooking or something, and not something very different like engineering or astronomy or something like that. So things definitely need to change in the societal norms bit as well. Sixth reason, and I think which is something very valid these days, is unsuitable workplaces. This basically means any workplace that is making life difficult for a woman, is making her feel uncomfortable at work. For example, any workplace that is not at all suitable for pregnant women or women who menstruate at the time. So these workplaces need to be changed. There need to be policies that favor women and allow them to come to work even in the times wherein they are feeling uncomfort. And lastly, there is lack of mentorship. This is a reason that I have personally worked on a lot. And since the past 1 year, I've tried to provide mentorship to peers. I've tried to provide mentorship to young women entrepreneurs. And this is one thing that I think all of us can do in the comforts of our house and with whatever knowledge we have. This is more of, just sharing your knowledge with somebody who might need it. And this sort of mentorship is a very important aspect to uh, just being successful in business and entrepreneurship, because business requires a lot of practical knowledge. So a lot of people do not get this sort of mentorship, and that is why they face problems and are unable to be successful at their business. All right, moving on. So do you think things have changed for the better recently? You can just type or say a yes or a no. Okay, there's yes, maybe, all right, yes. Anyone else? What do you guys think? Have things changed for the better? Have things not changed at all? Okay, so we have two yeses and one maybe, so we'll just keep it to that. Okay. And my follow up question for this is, have you seen any women start their business online recently? Yes, no, or maybe. Have you personally seen any women start their businesses online? Perfect, lots of yeses. Great. All right. So, why have I underlined the word online here? To understand that, firstly, we'll just understand one concept, which is the digital economy. Now, what is the digital economy? This, in a layman, way of understanding, is a very, very simple thing. The digital economy is the worldwide network of economic activities, commercial transactions, and professional interactions that are enabled by information and communications technologies. Very, very simple. Now if you think of the world after the pandemic, we are doing payments online, the entire business world is online, we are working online, schools are online, everything is just connected via a laptop and the internet. And that sort of functioning of the economy is known as digital economy. So how people have been working online, have been doing every single thing related to their business, whether it's communications, whether it's e-commerce, everything is now enabled via the IT facilities available. And that sort of constitutes a new sort of economy, which is known as the digital economy. And how is this digital economy good for women? Let's talk about current trends. There has been a 10% increase in businesses established by women in the year 2020, which means that you can say that, let's assume there were 34% of entrepreneurs. So there has been literally a 10% increase in that number in the year 2020. And even though the year 2020 was definitely not good for health concerns all over the world, it did give a lot of opportunities and ample amount of time for women and opportunities for them to learn more, grasp more material, and also start their businesses in an easier way. Why is the digital economy good for women? Let's discuss the reasons. Firstly, there is ease of doing business. Um, Women do not have to go out of their houses, they do not feel that safety threat anymore. There is simple ease of doing business. You can start your website anytime, any day with the new sort of technology available. You can get in touch with retailers, suppliers very, very simply, with your phone and any other sort of communication channel which is online. So therefore there's a lot of ease of doing business these days. Secondly, there is social media. A lot of women, young women particularly, have used platforms like Instagram and Facebook to start their business, and that has been a very, very important factor for them to start their entrepreneurial journey with, let's say, just a small business. So social media has been great throughout the last 2 years. Third is better work life balance. Now, if we look at women who have children, who have a family, who juggle with the life, work, and family sort of scenario, they definitely have a better work life balance. Now, women can just work and also take care of their house at the same time, and that sort of is an excellent thing for women, even for women who are pregnant, even for women who are not feeling well, or just have any other sort of problem. They can simply work from home and manage everything on the side. Then there is access to resources and information. This basically means that now everything is online, every bit of resource and information is online. Things are definitely easy for all genders. I sitting here can take an MBA class from the US just on my laptop. Similarly, you can also do any course or find any sort of article or material on any topic online. Then there is guidance and mentorship. A lot of communities online, a lot of platforms have opened up wherein people can just come meet and talk about things. I'm sure you must have heard of Clubhouse, which is the new thing that's trending. A lot of people come on to these clubs and communities to talk about their business, to talk about the new opportunities, and just network with others. This is one thing that I have worked on. For example, in Women in Business Network, we have a community wherein people just, young women can just come and talk to each other, buy from each other, just, support each other's businesses. So, guidance and mentorship is definitely on the rise. Lastly, there is changing social dynamic. These days, movies or TV shows or anything in general is, favorable for women. Women have been shown at senior leadership positions in a lot of TV shows and serials as well, and definitely the way we think is being changed day by day. So that is why there is also a changing social dynamic, especially in a country like India. Have you seen these women in the news recently? Please have a look at the pictures. Perfect. So you've seen one. Okay. Others? Have you seen these women? Okay, all right. So these are basically women who are either newly, promoted CEOs, or they are women who were entrepreneurs and took their companies to the Nasdaq this year. So this is the founder of Bumble. She is Whitney Wolfe Herd. This is the founder of Vimeo. She is founder and CEO of Vimeo, and she took the Vimeo to Nasdaq this year. And her name is Anjali Sood. And this is Jane Fraser. She has recently been promoted to CEO this year of Citigroup. So these are all women who have been promoted or who have reached higher potentials, or based on their companies this year. So this basically means that not only for entrepreneurship and not only for business, but for general senior leadership positions and women at these executive roles, this year has been excellent. And we're just 7 months into this year, and we've already seen so many women contributing to this field, and that's been absolutely phenomenal. All right, so what can be done to further improve this situation? Now, of course, we just understood that things are changing for the better. Of course, there are so many more opportunities for women now. So, what can be done to further improve this situation and make things better for the future? First, normalize women in business and entrepreneurship. This is basically, one thing that we can do on a personal level is just normalize and tune our minds to think that women can start their business and can be successful at entrepreneurship. Let us all stop asking women questions related to will you be able to handle that, or will you be able to do this or that. I think that's the most discouraging thing anybody can do, whether you're a woman or a male. So let's stop doing this and normalize women doing great and being very, very successful at their jobs because of their potential. Similarly, when you look at women in the news, or whether you look at women in TV shows or businesses, just being at an executive level, please normalize, or tune your mind to think that it's a very normal thing, and women can handle their work and their family and just be excel at everything at once. So this is the first thing we can do. Secondly, motivate the women around you to follow their passion. This basically means that if there is somebody around you who's doing excellently well at something that they're passionate about, and if, let's say, they're great at an art or just one particular thing, please motivate them to start their business or make it an actual work for them, make it an actual profession for them. And by that, you will definitely be encouraging them. But of course, we'll have more and more women join the work industry. So that would be amazing if you personally could motivate the women, whether young or old, to start their passion as a full-time business. And there are many more ways that we as individuals can empower women around us. Firstly, there is mentorship and education. This is something that you as an individual can do for anybody. You don't have to join any fancy communities. If you just can simply give education to somebody around you, whether it's somebody coming from a rural background or from a lower socioeconomic class, or whether it's just a friend. So I think all of us can mentor somebody, give knowledge to somebody, and just impart knowledge and learn so many new things from others. So that is one thing we can do for women around us. Second, active part of learning communities. There are so many communities, like on Clubhouse, like on LinkedIn. Please do join these communities and be an active part of these places. Try to buy from women, try to encourage them, try to just impart knowledge, learn new things from these communities, and just sort of be a part of a learning clan. Third is supporting women owned businesses. If you know any women owned businesses who are doing great, a simple message of encouragement would be so nice. Or just buying them or putting their ad around you in your community, in your family, would be excellent. And sort of buying from these small businesses really gives them that push to do more. So if you can support any women owned businesses, please do that. Next is make workplaces more inclusive for women. This is basically, even if your workplace installs, let's say, a pregnancy parking or anything that you particularly can raise your voice to do at your workplace, that would be absolutely great. There are so many ways in which workplaces can be remodeled to make them better for women. Let's say by installing a menstrual pad machine, or this pregnancy parking idea, or anything that can make the life of women much, much easier and comfortable at the workplace should be done and must be done. And lastly, there are so many ways of implementing women led and made and oriented policies. For example, I'm sure all of us know about Zomato. They introduced a period leave policy recently. And that has been a great step just to show that, they value the work that their women do. And it's a women led and made and oriented policy. So even though, yes, it might have its own controversies, but it's definitely a great step to show that, they're thinking about the women and their contribution, and they're literally saying that their women are valuable. So many of these policies also can make a great difference. Lastly, I just like to leave all of us with this thought that in the future, there will be no female leaders, there will just be leaders. This is a quote given by Sheryl Sandberg. She's my personal inspiration. She's currently the CEO of Facebook. And as this line says, that in the future, we should, not only call women as female leaders, but just leaders. We should always, remove the gender from the profession and just look at a person's potential and their, just excellence in the field. So this is a thought that I'd like to leave you all with, and here's to hoping that things do change for the better, and we sort of normalize women who are doing great in their field, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's any sort of business that they pursue. And yes, thank you so much for being a great audience. It was so nice to interact with all of you.
Thank you, Ishika. It was really important to talk about this. It was really
Thank you, Kritika.
insightful. Yeah. I hope you had a lovely time.
Thank you so much, Kritika. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great day and hope you all stay safe and well.